Hello and welcome to another episode of Applied History. Last time we learned about all of the materials and tools needed to preserve the molding in your home. Today, Matt Diana of Matt Diana Housewright is going to give us a demonstration of how to preserve molding in your antique home. Matt, take it away.
All right. So we started using some of these products here, and I think one of the first things we talked about was getting the paint off the wood so we can do the repair.
Yeah.
So I've already prepped a little sample here. There's a little band molding, and I've used a chemical paint stripper, which I like to use versus using heat, which can set off lead fumes, things like that. So the chemical stuff, well, pretty nasty, does a good job. I'll certainly wear gloves, respirators when you're applying it. Right now it's doing okay. So it's been sitting overnight. So at this point, now it's all the paint's kind of shriveled up, we can take our paint scrapers and various profiles, and very slowly we can start pulling that off.
So this has been sitting for about 24 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes
I would be scared to take off the wood with the paint.
Right. So you do have to be careful. You have to go slow, especially with all these profiles. But they also have shaped pieces, which are helpful to get in, some of
the nooks and crannies.
Yep, spots like that.
Nice. And
on some of these really old ones, the layers are gonna be really thick. So actually in this one, I'd probably apply it again.
Okay.
Take off that first layer.
Yep.
You can see up here, once it starts to get really dry, it's not coming off that nice. But we've probably taken off about, 15 layers already. Wow.
So again, this is a really simple process. We're just applying the varnish remover, letting it sit overnight, and gently removing it with hopefully contoured, that's not a chisel, but a scraper.
Yep.
And just repeat. And then, is there any tips or tricks? Is it possible to leave it on too long? Is there anything?
I don't think it will have too long. It might just dry out. So maybe at some point, just follow the recommendation of the manufacturer.
Okay. So you will know, when you get it done, you get it done. Do you have to rinse it off at the end?
It's a good idea. I like to use mineral spirits.
Okay.
So just give it a quick wipe down, get all that residue off.
Great.
Like I said, this one was really thick. We'd probably apply it again.
Okay.
I have another sample.
Yeah, let's get this out of the way for you.
Yeah. So this one, paint was a lot thinner, and that came off in one go.
Okay.
So you can see a little bit of white residue, but no big deal. So that's back down to the raw wood.
You can see where yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so on this one, we got the paint off, and then you can see the bottom edge of this was all kind of rotted away.
Yeah, a little punky.
Yep. So this would be a good candidate for preservation. So in this case, with all that punky wood, we'd use, we start off with what's called a consolidant. Also an epoxy, it's just thin.
Okay.
Right? So the consistency of...
So you want to firm up, because it's not bad enough to take away, but it's not strong enough to start to rebuild.
Right.
So the consolidant is going to kind of firm up what you have, so you have a strong base.
Yep. Okay. Yep, exactly. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some of that consolidant on.
Okay.
And we're going to use the more putty-like epoxy.
So there are two parts to the consolidant, and you just mix them 1 to 1?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep, 1 to 1.
All right, so let's see that.
Do me a favor and hand me one of those clamps up there?
Yes, sir.
Anyone.
Pick clamp, any clamp.
Yep, that'll do. That's what's going to help me.
Oh, trick of the trade right there. Okay.
All right. So
already worth their money.
So I've already put in 1 to 1 ratio.
Yeah.
Just kind of mix that up. You can see how thin that is.
Awesome.
Kind of like, I don't know, thicker than water. But
Yeah, just like blood.
yeah.
All right.
There you go. You give that a good mix. Once that's ready.
Yeah.
So we'll do, just take a brush, any kind of brush, and brush that in.
Do you have to have a license to get the orange gloves, or do they just come with the?
It's a trade secret.
Okay. This is 1 to 1 paint wood consolidant epoxy.
Yep. So it being thinner, it can get in all those little cracks.
Yeah.
And what that's going to do is see how soft all that is. It's
Yeah.
gonna harden it up, which I've already done here.
Yeah.
So kind of harden up. So again, you're following the manufacturer's instructions.
Call this the Thomas English muffins method.
Nooks and crannies. So you get all that in there.
Yeah.
And then we're supposed to wait, I don't know, upwards of an hour or so.
Okay.
We don't have that kind of time.
Well,
so.
luckily we have some movie magic at home.
Yep.
Okay. Great. So that's the process. You let it firm up.
Yep. You kind of
Next.
get a little sticky. Right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
when it's tacky, that's when you know. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can kind of tap a little bit. Might take
Okay.
an hour depending on temperature.
All right.
Like that.
Cool. Yep.
And then we can take the filler, which is that stuff.
Yep.
So pop these open. So you saw how liquid that other stuff was. This stuff is more like a putty.
Smells great, by the way, for the people at home.
So depending on what you're doing.
Yeah. This is like Play-Doh for adults.
Yeah, pretty much. You take the same size, so 1 to 1.
Yep.
So I got a little, I don't know,
Yeah.
ping pong ball size.
Yep.
Oops.
It's a small ping pong, dude.
Micro ping pong.
He was great at beer pong. 1 to 1, couple of small balls, and you just
So you can see I don't even need
together.
a cup for these. This is,
Yep.
you know, fits
Okay.
my hand. So now I just got to knead it together.
yeah.
Like, you know, mix it up. Kind of like making bread.
Nice.
Mix it up. It helps if this is a little warmer. Kind of
Okay.
gets things moving a little bit.
Okay.
Consistency of Play-Doh, right?
So is time? That sounds like a philosophy book. Is this time sensitive? This process?
It will be, but you have a lot of time.
Okay.
This won't harden up for. So this takes 24 hours to truly cure.
Okay.
So you probably have an open time of you know,
Okay.
4 hours. Something.
And how strong is that stuff when it's when it's all finished?
As strong or stronger than the wood.
Wow.
So you
Okay.
can feel that one's already pretty hard.
Okay.
And so you got this nice putty consistency. So now you can really shape it to whatever you want.
Yeah.
So normally we'd wait for that to be a little tacky, but what I'd probably do is just kind of set that on there, kind of push it into all those little voids,
Yep.
and it's kind of come off a little bit, but you
Yeah.
get the idea.
Yeah.
And you can take the putty knife, and once it's kind of on there, you can kind of shape it a little bit.
Yep.
roll it.
Okay.
And once you feel like you have it in all the space that you need to shape,
Yep.
then just let it sit.
Let it sit, and this is the end product 24 hours later.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
is what you're dealing with here.
Yep. So you see that's nice and hard.
Okay.
And so now that's hard, we can go ahead and shape it.
Great.
So.
Okay. You still with us at home? All right.
All right, so you can turn that around. So probably first thing I'm probably gonna do is try and shape this this face right here. And I think the sander might be the way
Okay.
to go.
Best tool.
So I'm gonna set that up. And you can use anything, you know, depending on the profile, a chisel, a hand plane, anything like that. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
Cue some music over this. Some classical.
let's see, we go like that. And so I can kind of follow that contour pretty nicely in the center.
All right.
So.
So a couple questions
Yeah.
before you move on. I just want to point out something. It seems like a dumb question, but I think it's worth asking. Why not just use the sander on the wood?
To take the paint off,
Yeah.
it's going to create a lot of dust.
Yep.
And lead dust is bad news. So,
Yep. And it might maybe also risk damaging the wood.
Yep.
Losing
absolutely.
the character. Okay.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot, and sometimes you see a paint job, you see all
Yeah.
the sander marks in the wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have some beautiful hand plane pieces of wood that you probably don't want to like ruin the character of. So
Right.
just a side note.
Yeah,
Public
yeah.
service announcement. And then the other question is, what grit are you using for this?
This one, just to start it, if you have like a lot of buildup, this was
Yeah.
actually 60 grit.
Okay.
I'd probably finish it with maybe 120, something like that.
Lower the grit, the coarser it is?
Yes.
It's been a while. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, so about a 60 to start, and then to finish, maybe you get a little higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got that shaped, and so that's doing it with the sander. I probably also could have used, a block plane. The stuff will
Okay.
plane pretty nice.
Keep it authentic.
Yep. So you can get that also cuts pretty well.
And then another maybe silly question. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm the people's question here. How do you know the profile to match?
Where to stop?
Yeah.
So I'd certainly So I would need to know that ahead of time.
Okay. And I'm assuming that there would be something else to match on the wall.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
And if there wasn't, so you can hold, you can hold this up. This was on a wall. There was some kind of horizontal piece
Okay.
there, and I can follow that line out.
Okay.
Ideally I'd have the profile, and I could kind of maybe put that
match
to the
it,
end
yeah.
and just kind of
Thank you.
shape it.
Thank you.
But yeah.
My show. I can ask silly questions if I want to.
No, great,
All right.
great question.
Cool.
But,
All right. So now, is this it?
Yeah, so that's pretty much ready to go. I'd probably sand it a little more, but
Yeah.
that's, if you put that back up on the wall.
That's gorgeous. And you would never know.
No, you put some paint on there.
I don't know if you can see a side angle of this, but like that looks really sleek. Like if you painted that over,
Yeah.
you're never gonna
And
know.
that's on there pretty good. You wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to break that off.
That's a beautiful job. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So that was phase one, how to preserve the wood, don't overreact. And if you're not sure, give Matt Diana or Matt Diana House Right a call. He'll be happy to help you out. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.